Hello, Diamond Hunter. When you hear the word diamond, what comes to mind? Maybe an expensive shiny jewel locked away in bank vaults or displayed behind glass in a luxury store. But what if I told you that people leave diamonds behind every single day without even noticing? That's right. Stones of unimaginable value being stepped on, ignored, mistaken for ordinary gravel. Sounds crazy, right? But believe me, it happens. And more often than you'd think. We're not just talking about precious stones in the literal sense, but also about opportunities that shine while disguised in everyday life. The problem is, no one ever taught us how to recognize what's truly valuable. Most people go through life like they're walking in the dark, no flashlight, no map, no direction. But today, you're going to learn something rare and extremely valuable. Something that could change the way you see the world around you. Because once you learn how to recognize a diamond in nature, you also learn how to see value where no one else does. And that skill, my friend, changes everything. Have you ever stopped to think about the opportunities we miss just because we're not fully present in the moment? Everyone's always saying life is hectic, there's never enough time, we can't slow down. But between one thing and the next, how many valuable chances are we ignoring? The truth is, most people are so busy chasing what they think they need, they don't even notice what's already within reach. And this applies to everything: relationships, ideas, talents, and yes, even rough diamonds. Life tends to leave clues along the way, but it's subtle. It's not like the movies with soundtracks and flashing lights. Sometimes the difference between changing your life and staying stuck is simply paying attention to a rock on the ground. Sounds ridiculous, maybe. But how many times has something that seemed insignificant turned out to be crucial? The world is full of distracted people, but those who learn to observe start playing a whole different game. Some people think that in order to find something valuable, you need to completely step out of your routine, drop everything, and become a treasure hunter. But what if I told you that's not how it works? Sometimes the real treasure shows up on your walk to the bakery, on a weekend hiking trail, at your grandma's farm, or even in a vacant lot in your neighborhood. The extraordinary hides in the ordinary, and that's exactly where opportunity lives. A simple family walk could turn into a historic moment if your eyes are trained to see it. And you don't need to be a genius or have pro-level gear. You just need to be present. Actually, being present is a rare skill these days, and those who master it see what most people overlook. Finding a diamond might sound unlikely, but it's not impossible. And that small possibility, that's what makes everything more exciting. You don't need luck. You need awareness. What makes this skill even more powerful is that it goes way beyond just finding stones. People who learn to recognize value where no one else does start transforming entire areas of their lives. You've probably seen people who make money off of things others throw away, like flipping old furniture or discovering hidden art pieces at thrift stores. It's the same idea. Vision. That's what separates people running on autopilot from those who are truly living. The ability to see beneath the surface. When it comes to diamonds, that vision can literally change your bank account. But more importantly, it shifts your mindset. You start realizing that life is constantly offering you opportunities. Most people just aren't paying attention. And once you get that, it starts making sense to slow down and take a closer look at everything around you. Now, let me tell you an amazing story about someone who found a diamond. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. It was just an ordinary afternoon in a small town somewhere in the US. A 7-year-old girl, barefoot, was running around her grandma's backyard like she always did. In the middle of her playtime, she tripped over a strange little rock. It had a subtle sparkle, but something about it looked different. She picked it up, stuck it in her pocket, and forgot about it until dinner time. The next day, her mom noticed the object and found it interesting. She took it to a local jeweler, more out of curiosity than any real expectation. The result? The stone was a 3.85-carat diamond. Estimated value, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the most amazing part? It had been there all along, in the same backyard where the family had lived for generations. No metal detector, no expert, just a kid playing outside. This story proves that even the most ordinary moments can hide something extraordinary. All it takes is a bit of curiosity and a willingness to look twice at what seems simple. As unlikely as it may sound, this isn't an isolated case. There are many similar stories from around the world. One man in Arkansas found a diamond over 9 carats while walking through Crater of Diamonds State Park, a place where anyone can search for precious stones. He wasn't a geologist. He had no formal training. He didn't even really know what he was looking for. But he paid attention, stayed curious, and most importantly, he was willing to try. It goes to show, technical knowledge doesn't always come before the result. Sometimes action comes first. Most discoveries don't happen in labs or massive excavations. They happen with everyday people who simply decided to look a little closer. The lesson? Luck might show up, but it shows up more often for those who are ready to recognize it. These real-life stories remind us of something crucial. The difference between success and failure often lies in the details, and details, by definition, are small. They're subtle, easy to overlook. But that's where change lives. When we hear stories like these, something inside us wakes up. It's not just about diamonds. It's about believing that extraordinary things can happen, even on the most ordinary days. People who pay attention to the signs start to see the world differently. A strange sparkle, an unusual texture, a weird glint in the sunlight. Any of these could be a clue. What looked like just a casual walk suddenly turns into a treasure hunt. That's when we start connecting the dots, and we realize that this way of seeing the world can be learned, trained, developed. Because once you see something like this happen in someone else's life, you can't help but ask, why not me? You thought only giant corporations with heavy machinery and million-dollar contracts could find diamonds? Yeah, a lot of people think that. And that exact belief is what keeps most people far away from real opportunities. The popular images of massive mining companies, engineers, drones, ultra-complex geological maps. But what if I told you that some of the most famous diamonds in the world were found by regular people? No formal training, just a bit of curiosity and sharp eyes. The idea that only experts can access valuable things, it's a mental trap, a block. And blocks like that stop you from even trying. But the truth is, nature doesn't choose who gets to find treasure. It spreads out the chances, and the person who sees it first gets it. It's not about having $1 million setup. It's about knowing what to look for and where. The interesting thing? Once you break this belief, others start to fall, too. Like the idea that you need a degree to make money, that only people born into wealth ever get rich, that big opportunities are just for the lucky ones. All of that starts to crumble, because deep down, those are stories we tell ourselves, stories that protect our comfort zone. But here's the truth. The comfort zone isn't really comfortable. It's just familiar. And it's in that familiar space that a lot of people get stuck. Now think about it. How many diamonds have you already passed up in life just because you thought they weren't meant for you? How many times have you held yourself back, thinking you didn't know enough? The good news? That mindset can change, and fast. All it takes is the decision to start seeing things differently, and that shift starts right now. Seeing the world with fresh eyes is a choice, and that choice brings a powerful side effect: autonomy. When you realize you don't need permission to search, to test, to learn, the whole game changes. You stop waiting for someone to hand you the answers. You start going after what actually makes sense to you. When you break beliefs, you break cycles. And when you break cycles, you create new paths. Knowing a diamond could be closer than you think, even in a place as unlikely as your backyard, awakens something way bigger than just the desire to get rich. It awakens awareness. The awareness that life is full of hidden possibilities, often disguised as simple things. And once you see that, the next step becomes inevitable. You want to know exactly how to find those diamonds, literally. So, how do you actually start recognizing a diamond in nature? Well, first, you need to understand how one is formed. Here's a cool fact that most people don't know. Diamonds are created under extreme pressure and intense heat, deep beneath the Earth's crust. We're talking miles below the surface. Over time, and we mean a lot of time, those stones make their way upward through volcanic activity. That's why diamonds are usually found in areas with ancient volcanic formations, places with rocks like kimberlites or lamproites. But don't worry, you don't need to memorize those weird names just yet. What matters is knowing where to look. Places with specific geological history, older gravel beds, riverbeds with rounded stones, and even abandoned mining sites. And here's the game changer: knowledge. The more you know about identifying the right environment, the better your chances of finding a stone that could seriously change your life. Now let's talk appearance. What does a raw diamond actually look like? Forget the sparkle you see in jewelry store windows. Natural diamonds? They're subtle. They come in all kinds of shapes. Octahedrons. Imagine two pyramids stuck together at the base. Cubes. Flattened forms. Even distorted shapes like the so-called macles, and the color, also variable. They can be clear, yellowish, gray, brown, which can definitely throw people off. So here's a tip. Train your eye with real images. Look for an oily or waxy texture, a glassy, vitreous shine, a slightly translucent appearance. Oh, and don't confuse it with quartz. Beautiful, yes, but not nearly as valuable. One great way to practice is to use a 10x jeweler's loupe and study examples. And hey, I've actually put together an ebook packed with everything you need to know to become an expert in identifying precious stones. You'll find the link in the description below. So, how can you tell if what you found is actually a diamond? Here are a few simple tests you can do at home before taking it to a professional. 1. The scratch test. Hardness. Diamonds can scratch almost anything, including glass and steel. Try scratching a glass bottle with the stone. If it leaves a mark easily, that's a good sign. 2. The read-through test. Transparency. Place the stone on top of a newspaper or book. If you can read the letters through it, it's probably not a diamond. 3. The water test. Density. Drop the stone into a glass of water. Diamonds are very dense. They'll sink quickly. 4. The fog test. Thermal conductivity. Breathe on the stone like you're fogging up a mirror. If the fog disappears almost instantly, that could be a positive sign. Now keep in mind, these tests aren't 100% conclusive, but they're great first filters. The next step? Take your find to a gemologist or a certified lab for a full analysis. Just imagine for a second, finding something on the ground that's worth more than your car, your house, maybe more than everything you've earned in your entire life. Sounds like a movie, right? But it's real. A single diamond can be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars depending on its size, purity, and color. And the most incredible part? They don't come with price tags. There's no armed guard standing next to them. They're just out there, in the dirt, waiting for someone who knows how to see them. That changes everything about the way we look at the world. What seemed like an innocent walk yesterday could today become a real treasure hunt. And this isn't about greed, it's about possibility. The possibility of building freedom, getting out of survival mode, investing in something bigger. One diamond can fund a business, pay for college, change entire generations. You just need to be ready to recognize it when the moment comes. Now think with me. If you had the chance to find something worth millions, while doing something as simple as going for a walk or taking a weekend trip, would you take that chance? Of course you would. The difference between the people who find and those who miss out comes down to 3 things: a trained eye, persistence, and action. You know that person who says, "Oh, that's silly. That would never happen to me." Yeah, and that's the exact person who'll never find out if it could have worked. What's interesting is, once you start to develop this new way of seeing, everything takes on new meaning. You begin to notice patterns, textures, unusual shapes. Your mind sharpens, and so does your motivation. Because let's be honest, no one just walks past $1 million lying on the ground. And that's what raw diamonds are, fortune in its roughest form. Many people have changed their lives that way, and now, you know it could happen to you too. The desire for something big doesn't have to come with complexity. Sometimes the breakthrough starts with a simple action: stopping, looking, picking up a stone and asking, "What if?" It's the kind of moment that feels small, but holds the power to flip your life upside down, in the best possible way. A rough diamond doesn't look like the ones in jewelry stores. It's subtle, maybe even ugly to someone who doesn't know what they're looking at. But the value is there, invisible to the distracted eye. And once you understand that, something shifts inside you. You realize life is full of hidden treasures, and that recognizing value is a skill, not a gift. Every day is a new chance to train that skill, to turn simple curiosity into a real opportunity to change your life. So now I'll ask you, are you going to ignore that potential? Let me know in the comments. If this content sparked something inside you, tell me in the comments. Have you ever had a feeling you might have seen a diamond in the wild? Ever thought, this looks different? Your story might inspire someone else, and maybe even open the eyes of someone who's still living on autopilot. And hey, if you made it this far, it means you're hungry to learn. So go ahead and hit that like button. It doesn't cost a thing, but it helps a lot to spread this message to more people like you who are searching for something bigger. Oh, and don't forget to share this with that one curious friend. You know, the one who's into wild theories, hiking trails, or Sunday treasure hunts. Trust me, this kind of knowledge can transform lives when it spreads. Now, if you don't want to miss any tips in future videos, subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. It's simple, but it makes all the difference. with notifications on. You'll get the next episodes the moment they drop. And yes, we're diving even deeper into the fascinating world of precious stones, real-life discoveries, practical ID tips, and all the hidden possibilities nature holds. There's so much more coming your way. And if you're ready to go one step further, there's a special bonus waiting for you in the video description. An exclusive ebook packed with secrets from real gemstone hunters, technical tips, ID guides, and even maps of places with a history of rare finds. Can you imagine having that kind of guide in your pocket on your next nature walk? It's right there, easy to grab. This is your chance to turn curiosity into skill, and skill into real opportunity. And no, this isn't hype. It's not some magical promise. It's practical, it's real information, and it's a community growing together. The more you show up, the more you learn. So comment, ask, get involved. This isn't a boring lecture. It's a conversation. And conversations are where the best ideas happen. Maybe your question is someone else's too. Maybe your experience helps someone not give up. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next person to find something worth millions. But it all starts with one action, and yours could be right now. Like, comment, subscribe, and join us on this journey. Now that you've got this knowledge in your hands, the next step is simple. Put it into practice. Seriously, it's not enough to just watch, nod your head, and go back to life like nothing's changed, because something has changed. Now, you know what to look for, how to identify it, where to pay attention. Now you understand that every stone could be a hidden opportunity, just waiting for someone with a sharp eye. The difference between the one who finds and the one who walks right past it, it comes down to one thing: action. You don't need to become an expert overnight, but you can start right now. Next time you're out for a walk, on a trip, or even just in your parents' backyard, look closer. Bring a loupe. Study textures. Compare what you see with what you've learned here. Life has a way of rewarding those who choose to take action. And remember this: this journey isn't just about diamonds. It's about perception, vision, and courage. Seeing what others don't is a gift you can develop. It starts with curiosity, grows with practice, and leads to results. Big discoveries don't belong only to geniuses or the lucky ones. They belong to those with open minds. Now the world around you has changed. That worn-out ground has a new meaning. That dull little rock might just be the beginning of a brand new story. And if you take the first step, you might be surprised at what you find. Because diamonds don't shout. They wait for someone who knows how to listen with their eyes. Your journey into diamond hunting is just beginning. And it doesn't depend on expensive trips or fancy equipment. It depends on you, your decision to learn, observe, and take action. So tell me, where will your first step be? What ordinary place will you start to see in an extraordinary way? Maybe your next walk won't just be exercise. Maybe it'll be the first step toward freedom. Take advantage of this moment of change. Think of this content as your map. Because when you've got a map, and you know how to use it, you go farther, much farther. And if you're going far, let it be with purpose, with intention, and yes, with a diamond in your pocket. Now I want to invite you to check out the video that's on your screen right now. It'll take your knowledge of gemstone hunting even deeper. I'll see you there.